Good day everyone, I am Emay and Visto and today I'm going to discuss the introduction of legal aspect of tourism, travel, hospitality industry. So before we start, let's start for this quote by Peter Stewart. Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. So here are the learning objectives. So 1. Identify different kinds of law relevant to the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Explain the concept of tourism law. Enumerate important sources of tourism law. And give example of application of tourism law. So what is the law? So the law is rules, regulation, obligation, responsibility. So in general, an abstract sense, derecho. So it's a science moral that founded in national nature of man that govern free activities for realization of individual or social end and unders the aspect of mutual condition dependence. So the law is a system, rules, regulation established by the government authority to maintain order, ensure justice, and regulate humans' behavior within society. So what are the kind of law? So there are two kind of law. As to purpose, there are two substantive law. So the substantive law, it creates, define, and regulates regulates the right and duty which give rise to the cause of action. So if for instance, imagine this scenario where two parties entered into a contract for the sale of goods, but one party failed to deliver the agreed upon quantity. The substantive law would come into play in determining the rights and obligation of which party based on the terms of contract. The relevant legal principle would be applied to access issues such as the breach of contract, remedies available to the injured party, and any applicable defenses. So, second one is the adjunctive law. So, adjunctive law provides the methods of aiding and protecting certain rights. So, for example, arrest procedure, pretrial procedure, trial procedure, then appeal process. So naa siya gipalo nga process para ma-defend nimo ang kinsay sakto. Then let's go to the scope. So it has the two categories, the general or public law and the special and private law. So first we have the general or public law. So the law applies to all people of the state or to all of the particular class or person in the state with equal force and obligation. For example, in criminal law, international law, then political law. So, apply siya sa tibuok katawhan. Madato man ka, mapobre man ka, apply siya. Then, the second one is the special and private law. So the law is which relate the particular person of things of the class. Example, civil law, maritime law, maritime laws. The special and private law, so naa sila kaugalingan law. So kanang mga maritime, so dili man na sila makatrabaho sa barko if wala sila gisunod nga law, wala sila contract, wala sila visa, wala pa sila kuan. Na naman sila agency, naman private agency ana para sila naa sila kanang right, naa sila safe sila makatrabaho sa anak nga barko or anak nga lokar. So the next is concept of tourism law. So what is the concept sa tourism law? So tourism law involves the legal regulation and principles governing the travel and hospitality industry, encompasses a broad range of issues including contracts, liability, and compliance with local regulation. This law aims to ensure the safety and fair treatment of tourists as well as the responsibility management of tourism-related activities. Tourism law may address matters such as hotel accommodation, transportation services, and tour operation. Understanding and adhering to tourism law is crucial to both business operating in the industry and the protection of the rights and well-being of travelers. So, what is the importance and application of law? Ngano importante man ni nga i-apply man ni ang law. So, the importance of tourism law lies in the rules of safeguarding the rights and interests of both tourism and businesses within the travel industry. It provides a framework to regulate and management various aspects of tourism for fostering fair and secure environment. Application of tourism law ensure that businesses comply with safety standards, contractual obligation, and local regulation, contributing to the overall integrity of the industry. So it addresses issues such as consumer protection, liability for accident, and environmental concern related to the tourism activities. Ultimately, the effective application of tourism law promotes responsible and sustainable tourism practices benefit both the industry and the communities involved. So, what are the source? The source of the relevant in tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. So, the Philippine Constitute. So, what is the Philippine Constitute? The Philippine Constitute serve as fundamental source of the law relevant to tourism, travel, and hospitality industry in the country. It provides the constitutional framework for the protection of individual rights, which is essential for the ensuring fair treatment of tourism. So, the Constitution also involved the government to enact laws and regulation relates to business operations, safety and standard, and environment protection within the industry. Additionally, the principle of sustainable development and cultural preservation outlined in the Constitution guide policy that impact tourism and hospitality as a supreme legal document. The Philippine Constitution influences the legal landscape, shape the industry practices and interaction. So the next one is the statutes of relative enactment. So statutes of legislative enactment play a crucial role in shaping a legal landscape of tourism, travel, hospitality industry. So these laws are enacted by legislative bodies of both national and local levels of regulated various aspects of the sector. For instance, countries may have statutes outlining licenses requirements for travel agency, safety standard for transportation, and regulation governing hotels operation. So, administrative and executive order, regulation, and ruling. So, dili jud nagkan ang mga tourism law. So, administrative and executive law, regulation, or ruling play a crucial role in shaping the legal landscape of tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Government agency often issue regulation to provide detailed guidelines on matters such as licensing requirements, safety standard, and business operation within the industry. Executive orders may be used to address specific issues such as travel restriction of emergency measures, imparting tourism regulatory bodies empowered by legislation, issue ruling that interpret apply laws to specific situation within the industry. This administrative sources provide clarify enforcement mechanism and flexibility for adapting to involved circumstances within the dynamic field of tourism. So let's move on to the next one is judicial decision and jurisprudence. So money, then decision and jurisprudence also contribute to the legal landscape of tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Court interpret and apply existing law to specific cases, setting precedent that influence future legal consideration within the industry. For instance, A landmark court decision might clarify liability in cases of accident during organized tours, shaping future safety standard. Jurisprudence can also impact contractual relationship within the industry or court provide interpretation and solution for dispute that are arise between parties such as travel agency and customers. Then the next one is the custom. So customary practices within tourism, travel, and hospitality industry also contribute to the legal framework. Industry custom often shape the expectation of the standard for businesses and consumer alike. These unwritten norms may influence areas such as customer service standard, cultural other sources. The legal framework governing the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry draw from various sources. Primary among this statutory law compassing regulation specifically tailored to the industry, such as a Travel and Tourism Act of Hospitality-related legislation. Additionally, contractual law plays a pivotal role as businesses in this sector often engage in agreement with customer supplies and partners. Administrative law is crucial given the industry dependence on permit and license for operation. Furthermore, case law, which involves true legal precedent set in court decision, contributes to shaping and interpreting the legal landscape for this dynamic sector. Any clarification? Let's review. So what is law? So the law is the rules, regulation that govern authority established by governing authority to maintain orders, ensure justice, and regulate human behavior. So what are the kinds of law? For a purpose, as to purpose, it has two kinds. Substantive law. So what is substantive law? So law which creates, define, and regulate rights. So the second one is adjunctive law. So the law which provide the methods of aiding and protecting certain rights. So as to scope, it has a two. So general or public law, and the special or private law. So what is the general law? It applies to all people of the state, to all of the particular class of person in state, equal force and obligation. For example, criminal law, so international law, then political law. So what is the special and private law? So a law which relates to particular person of which of the class. Example, the civil law, maritime law, the merchantine law. So katong mga OFW, mga seaman, ani sila na belong na law sa special and private law. So what are those sources of the law? So it has the Philippine Constitution, the statutes of the legislative enactment, administrative or executive order, regulation, and ruling, then judicial decision or jurisprudence, then the custom and other sources kato ng mga ubang mga source. Ana nagikan ang mga ang law sa travel, sa tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.